welcome to Lightbody Prana Yoga. My name is Marissa Indigo, and today we're going to be focusing solely on the neck and shoulders. This is a seated sequence here, and the sequencing came together for me intuitively when I started to understand how much energetic restructuring was going on here at what is known as the mouth of God chakra. So this is if you want to put your hand where your skull meets your neck, your cervical spine, you feel a little divot in there. And in many esoteric traditions, the mouth of God or the mouth of the goddess, there's a lot of codes held here. There's a lot of connection with Atlantis. I mean, the bone here is called the Atlas bone. Think about the stories and the myths of Atlas shrugged. We have Atlantis connections here. We've got Lemurian connections here. God, goddess activations here. I came up with this sequence when I realized that on almost a daily basis, I was having a lot of neck aches, tension, a lot of aching right where the mouth of God chakra is, where the skull is connecting to the spine. And a lot of us have just been noticing with all of the light codes coming in, so much tension and kind of an override sensation in our necks. So I created this sequence for all of you when you are dealing with any kind of a tension or just a crunchiness in the neck and shoulder area. This is a really great sequence to do in the morning when you first get up and you're having your tea or your coffee and you're just kind of starting to warm up and get everything turned on and running for the day, or any time that you may have any kind of tension or just noticing that there's a lack of mobility. And I really attribute this to a lot of the cosmic activity going on right now. I'm an avid watcher of space weather and NOAA, looking at the KP index to kind of assess where is the magnetosphere right now. What is the Schumann Resonance? You can go to Schumann Disclosure, Italy, I believe. If you Google that, you'll find the Schumann Resonance. So there's a lot of influxes of light as well as the space weather in general that's taking a huge toll on our physical bodies. And this is how Lightbody Prana Yoga was born, is to create a practice for us that's easy, something we can do in little bits throughout the day that will allow us to create more space and more comfort in our physical body so that we can continue to adapt as the frequencies increase all around us. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's get into the practice. So this sequence today is a seated sequence, meaning that we are sitting down for pretty much the entire thing. So I wanted us to be able to get a little bit of warmth started before we actually get into opening our necks. So we're going to start is some spinal rolls here. So you can bring your feet about hips width apart and just get a little micro bend in your knee. And let's just gently start to do some really easy spinal twists here, and just let your head follow the direction of your neck. So you're going to just gently splay your arms out to the side and just create this really lovely momentum. You can close your eyes if you want. Just breathing and just allowing your head and neck to follow the direction of the movement, really effortless, so that it's a full spinal movement here. And this is a really important Qigong exercise. Another thing you can do here is just gently kind of let your back hand tap your kidneys gently as you go side to side. This kind of stimulates the kidneys a little bit, getting some of that healing energy started up. So it's really nice to do a little warm up like this because, like I said, what we're doing is sitting down on the floor to do the majority of this opening work today. And it's important to start to get a little bit of flexion going on in the spine and a little bit of warming up. So those are some spinal rolls, which are really nice to do. And again, you can work with the kidney energy. So what we're going to do now is let's just take our palms of our hands to our lower backs here and just gentle rubbing and smiling at your kidneys. Just close your eyes and just smile. Send them gratitude. This is invoking that healing life force energy which comes through our organs. It's a very powerful Qigong exercise to smile at all of your organs in gratitude. So it's really fun to do as often as you can remember to do so. So the last thing we're going to do before we come into seated postures is a little shake. So you can have your knees bent and just a gentle shake, and like shake your hand, shake your wrists. If it feels good to shake your head or do yes and no, you can, or side to side with your head, but you don't have to. And then come onto one foot and then switch the other foot and really just shake the whole body as vigorously as is comfortable. And this will really also start to literally shake off and start to release and get rid of old energy. And I know it looks really funny. It feels amazing though. And you got to think, like, you know, whenever something traumatic happens to animals like cats or dogs, what do? They literally shake it off, just shake it off. And then they're fine, you know. And so if more of us were doing that more often, I think that would be really, really great. You could do this in a chair if you need to. If you're still a little tight in your legs and in your knees, it's too much to sit cross-legged, you could have your legs straight out in front of you for this part. Basically, what we're going to do is just start to come into the body and come into this moment with the intention of giving our necks and shoulders a lot of needed TLC and love, tender loving care. So let's begin. Close your eyes, find a comfortable position to sit in for now. And once your eyes are closed and you're settled in, start to bring your focus inside of you, inside the chest, and bringing your attention now to your breath. And I like to put my hands palms down on my knees to kind of really just ground, and it's kind of neat because your body becomes this sacred triangle or pyramid kind of mountain shape. Just starting to embody the stability and the presence of the moment. And just start to bring your focus now to your belly, and we will do some Ujjayi breathing. This is the victorious or warrior breath. And what we're going to do here to practice Ujjayi breathing, this is an audible breath, so you're contracting the glottis at the back of the throat. So you're inhaling fully into the belly. And then from there, allowing the breath to rise up into the very top of the chest, into the very top of the lungs, via the collarbones. And you're going to fill with breath. And allow that at the very top to start to open the chest as we're breathing in. And just hold for a second, just a 1 count before exhaling. And upon the completion of the exhale, contract the belly. So it's a little bit of an ab exercise. We're kind of gentle squeezing of the tummy muscles, bringing the belly button back towards the spine. So we're going to inhale again, audible inhale, filling belly first. And then allowing the breath to rise up into the top of the chest and hold for 1 second or 1 count. And really fixating on straightening the spine, extending the head up. Exhale. Contract the belly. And 1 more, so we'll do 3. So inhale. Hold, exhale. And just really bringing our conscious focus now to the shift, because just within 3 breaths, just within a few moments of conscious awareness, of pure presence, we've already shifted our entire frequency. So just acknowledging that, coming into a space of gratitude for the power of breath, the power of your conscious focus, attention, and how powerful that is. Being mindful that that same awareness and intention can be shot like a laser at anything you were working on in your life. So just reinstating your own personal power there. So now I want to invite you guys, let's go ahead and come into a cross-legged position. If you need a little lift, you can use a blanket, a pillow. I also have a yoga cushion or meditation, just to give you a little bit of lift in the low back, which will allow for more longevity to sit in this position for a little while. We are going to be switching the legs, switching the crossing of the legs. So just know that we will be mindful of that balancing. And you can also put support underneath your knees, so you can have a rolled up blanket or towel underneath, crossing over your ankles, and place underneath your knees. Do is just bring our hands to our neck. Just bring your hands to the back of your neck and really just tuning in, just connecting with this part of the body and starting to bring a focused awareness and a state of reverence for how strong our necks are physically, and symbolically the potency here of the neck, of the vertebrae, which is holding up our head. This is really the climax of the spine, of the information superhighway that is the spine. So just bringing that awareness, that reverence, that gratitude to the neck for all that it processes, all that it holds, all that it carries. And then bring your hands up and place one of your palms, your right palm if you can, right where the neck connects to the spine. It's the occiput there. There's a little divot. And it's also called the mouth of God chakra, or the mouth of the goddess chakra. It's a very important chakra here, which is in the back body. This is very esoteric or occult or hidden knowledge. So this isn't a chakra that we learn about very much unless you're really into more of the mystery schools, the tantric traditions, or some of the more deep esoteric Buddhist traditions. So bringing your palm to that atlas bone, it's this divot. You can take your fingers if you want and feel this little dip where the skull connects to the spine, and place your palm over that space, and then place your other palm more at the bone right at the base of the neck. And we're just going to send some healing energy here, Reiki, Huna, whatever shamanic energy, pranic healing, quantum touch, whatever energy system you resonate with. You could use all of them, bring them all in. To just send some energy to this part of the body and start to warm it up a little bit. We want to warm up the muscles. And then bring your hands around the sides of the neck, and then now over the throat and the thymus. That same intention, sending healing energy to this part of the body. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and uncross our legs, straighten your legs in front of you, and just start to gently bend forward a little bit. You could put your hands on your shins or on your knees, right above your knees, on your thighs, however forward you can go, where it's just a little bit of a stretch, starting to feel it in your calves. So pull your toes back. If you can reach your toes, great. You can use a strap here. It's not important about forward and down and folding. It's really just about forward while also kind of arching up. So we're keeping space in the shoulder area here, but really stretching the legs. You could do some ankle circles here, bringing the toes inwards towards the center line of the body, and then out to the out of the body. And then let's switch the crossings of the legs here. So this might feel kind of weird. So for me, naturally, just inherently, unconsciously, I've always got the right leg in front. So in this instance, we're going to switch to whatever is not your normal leg. So I have my left shin in front now. And we're going to just start with some really gentle, just looking side to side. So we're going to just gently start to open the neck. It's not about mobility or range of motion right now. It's just movement in general, and starting to move the neck muscles in another direction, and just straight forward. So just take a moment here and then breathe. Inhale to the left, and just slowly move back to center and exhale. Take a moment, inhale right. Just feeling. Exhale, center again. Okay, great. And now we're going to do some very gentle neck rolls. So you're just going to really just imagining that you're keeping your ear parallel to the floor to your side. And we're just going to do like a half moon shape. So you're going to come up the other way, and that ear will be parallel. And we're going to hang here for just a second and just inhale into the part of the neck that is stretched. And then exhale, a gentle roll to the other side. And then inhale and hang here for a minute, just breathing into that side of the neck. Exhale, gentle half moon roll again to the other side, and inhale. And exhale, half moon down, slowly and gently, stretching open, really breathing space. So just imagine as we're inhaling into any places of tension in our practice right now, or at any point in our practice, I'm going to exhale, come down to the other side. Just be really cognizant that you're inhaling space into that tension. Okay, and then now we're going to exhale and just gently bring your chin to your chest. Don't force anything. It's just really, again, about the forward movement of just starting to open the muscles. Depending on how much tension and tightness you have, you may feel this, all the way down the mid-back, in between the shoulder blades in the spine. Just breathing here. And then when you're ready, inhale and gently come up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to open our legs again. We're going to stretch forward because we want to make sure that the knees and the calves and the thighs aren't locking up while we're seated, because this is a bit of a seated time here while we're on the floor and we're not doing a ton of movement. We're not getting a lot of warmth to the major muscle groups. So it's important to be cognizant to keep moving everything in little bits here as we go. So now go ahead and switch the crossing again to your original position. So for me, that's right shin in the front here. And now we're going to walk each side out. So go ahead and bring your right hand down to the side of the floor and just start to crawl over and a gentle starting to stretch over to the right. And when you're ready, inhale the left arm overhead and just noticing, observing as you're breathing here all into the ribs and the whole side body, even the armpit and the tricep. Where do you feel that opening? When you feel like it's a good spot, it's not about, crunching and folding and going down. This is about extension here. So make sure that your right hand, your supportive hand, is really pushing through and supporting you. And you do feel the stretch here from the hip all the way to fingertips of your left arm. And make sure to try to bring your face again in a parallel kind of position to the floor. And keep reaching. So the idea is that you're having the sensation of someone pulling on this arm here while you're really rooted into this hand. So keep breathing into the side. Reaching strong, and you could feel it in the shoulders. It's kind of active for the shoulders here, while one hand is pushing and one is kind of pulling. You can bend your supportive arm if you want to go a little bit further over. And on the next inhale, let's go ahead and switch. So now the left hand is going to be supportive. And when you're ready, the right arm is going to gently sweep over side. And it's important to, again, really extend through the body and start to turn so that your face is facing the floor, parallel with the floor. And just experimenting with how your head and neck feels. You could, like I am, you could have your face facing your palm, which is on the floor. You could have your face facing the wall in front of you. Just see what feels comfortable for your neck. Sometimes even turning your head towards the arm, which is raised. Just experiment and see, wow, where do I feel crunchy? How much liberty do I have with my movement? And then go ahead and inhale and come back up to center again. And now we're going to do a little bit of shoulder warming up, because this is going to help us to continue to get more deeply into the neck. So see if you're starting to feel, oh yeah, my neck is starting to warm up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to get some juice going here. Synovial fluids through the stimulation of the shoulders. So you can just do gentle shoulder rolls, really mindful. For me, it feels better to go backwards than forwards, but you're welcome to go forwards as well if you like. Another one that I really like to do is just alternating which shoulder is in front. And as you're doing all the movements here, just be really mindful of your breathing. Just breathe slow and deep and feel where the breath goes as you're moving. Feel how it's opening new pockets within the body that may have been tight. A lot of the times we're just in the same positions all day long at work and walking. We're not doing a lot of interesting random kind of movements. So that's what's so fun about this practice, is to start to feel, wow, how does my body feel in this position and that position? And just observing that you're getting more space. We're going to go ahead and bring the left arm, starting to bring it across the body, and you're going to hug it in strongly here with your right above the elbow. So no pressure on the elbow. I was being really cognizant of that. Open the fingers of the left hand. Make sure that your shoulder isn't up like this. Make sure that it's in its socket, it's in its positioning, it's relaxed, you've got space in the neck, and really activate like someone's pulling your left hand, and really hug with your right arm. your left arm into your chest, and you should feel the opening here. Now just breathe in. Just breathing into that space. And now we're going to switch. Okay, so right arm is going to go across the body, left arm is going to hug it in right above the elbow. And really extending out with your right fingertips and breathing into that shoulder socket. See which one is tighter. That's the fun thing when we alternate sides, feeling, wow, what's going on in each half of me today? And just observing. So breathing in. Okay, great. And go ahead and just gently release. If you want, you can kind of do a little gentle arm flowing. This is really lovely. He's kind of, invoking the imagery of wings here. So just to kind of continue to move that out. And then let's inhale and just extend the arms. So making sure that your core, your abs are engaged here and that your ribs aren't going out. Just like feel like you're standing up against the wall, but just really reaching out to the sides here, feeling like someone's pulling on each of your hands. Okay, and then let's open the legs again because we've been sitting here for a little bit, and go ahead and just do a little gentle forward stretch. Very nice. Okay, so go ahead and switch the crossing of the legs again. And then now what we're going to very gently do, this is a really, really fun exercise of stretching to just start to really sensitize ourselves to the different muscles in the neck and where the tension is coming from. Is it coming from more where the skull is connecting to the top of the neck, or is it actually coming more from the shoulder and the trapezius muscle, which is a muscle here, a huge triangular shaped muscle that goes all the way up the neck and is near the shoulder blades. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk your right hand out to the side, and you're going to start to tilt your neck to the right side. And then you're going to bring your left hand out to the side of the floor, to your side. And just see how you feel just with your fingertips extended on the floor, still touching the floor. And notice where you feel the stretch. It's usually very deep here in the base of the neck. And I feel like it's really good to start here. Start to soften this spot before we go more and higher and more depth. So then you can experiment now with lifting your fingers a few inches off the floor. Still breathing into that left side of the neck. And noticing, where do I feel it? And then continually in little increments, if you want to, you can keep raising your arm until you have it all the way out to the side. Stop where it feels just perfect. You never want to go too far. Sometimes the most satisfying stretch, honestly, in the neck can come from when the fingertips are just floating a few inches off the floor. So that's actually where I'm going to go today, because it just feels really yummy and it feels stable and like, yeah, I can sustain this. So then you're going to actually take your right hand off the floor and gently, very gently, no pressure really, not anything harsh, bring your fingertips to your left temples and just kind of support the stretch a little bit, just a little, just the tiniest bit of pressure on the top of the head only, and see how that feels. That might be too much. You might not want this. You might want to keep your hand rooted on the floor. But for me, I'm using the pressure here to separate my skull connection to the neck. So I'm actually getting a stretch now more in the mid to upper neck. And then you can gently even have your fingers drag with the slightest pressure along the top of your skull. And that too will help to open very, very gently and deeply more of the higher up muscles here of the skull connecting into the base of the neck. So let's go ahead and do the other side. So now go ahead and just your left hand out to the left to the side and start to tilt your head gently to the left. And then bring your right hand out to the side of you, fingertips on the floor, and just breathe here. Just seeing, okay, where am I feeling the opening here? And if you want, you can bring your hand a few inches off the floor, breathing into that neck, that whole space. And if you want, you can experiment your arm a little higher, just see what feels the best. For me, it's still hovering, even for this other side, hovering just a few inches off the floor. And I'm going to very gently now take my hand, my left hand to my temples, to my right side of my face, temples, and just very gently give myself a little bit of this like natural traction with gravity and the slightest bit of pressure with pulling my skull to the left while the arm is stretching out to the right. And again, breathing in there, allowing the fingers to kind of gently massage into the skull, the top of the skull, and then very gently and slowly coming back up to seated posture with it upright. So see how you feel here? Let's just do a little gentle checking in, going side to side with the neck. So I've noticed now really the last year that as the light codes continue to just bombard us on a daily basis, there's a lot of intel coming constantly. You know, this is the corona, right? So it's coming through the crown, down the body, down the spine, and the information is coming forth from the inside as the cosmic codes are raining down upon us as cosmic energy. This is radiation, this is gamma rays, this is all the solar activity going on right now. So what I noticed is that we really need to work much more often with the neck on a daily basis, really. And that's why I really wanted to do this neck and shoulders sequence for you guys, because I'm feeling it. And these are all of my favorite, just most yummy movements to do in order to really get in there. So we're going to do a couple other movements now, which are going to require us to come into kind of a table position on the floor. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to come into hands right underneath your shoulders, knees right underneath your hips. This is like a table position. And first, let's just go ahead and come down into a child's pose. And you can have your knees together for this if you want more of a stretch in the low back, or you can have your knees apart. I really like to have my knees apart because I feel like I can sink much more deeply. And then what you're going to do is you're going to walk your hands out to the edge of the mat. And you're going to try to get a lot of space there in the shoulders. Make sure that your wrists are in alignment with your shoulders, so your hands are shoulder width apart. And then just keep walking your hands out, and then go ahead and just bring your forehead to the floor for a minute. And we're just going to connect with 5D and above, crystalline Gaia, crystalline grids and frequencies of New Earth in the child's pose. So we're going to embrace the Holy Child aspect of ourselves with a threefold flame of wisdom, love, and power. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale. And what we're going to do is, this is kind of like a thread the needle pose. If you guys are familiar with thread the needle, that's another pose we'll do when we're working on hip opening. But what you're going to do, I'm going to start with the left hand first so you guys can see this. I'm going to actually take my left hand. This is like how we were crossing the body before to open the shoulders. And I'm going to put it on the floor. And I'm going to walk my right hand up. And then I'm going to actually sit back. And you can have your toes curled for this if you want, if you need more space. And basically, you're going to be doing this opposite action where your right hand is walking up and away from you. And your left arm, you're actually on the shoulder. So your face is going to be facing forward, facing me. And you can start to really lean back into your shoulder. If you want, as you're walking your right arm and right hand forward, you can actually see there's like a little triangle of space here, and you can look through the armpit and just really starting to feel that opening in the shoulder. You can start to lean a little bit too to the left, very gently leaning on your left knee, making sure you feel balanced here, but that'll really start to open the shoulder. And then we're going to switch sides. So I'm actually going to crawl around this way so you guys can see me do this again. So we're coming to all fours. We're going to start to bring the right arm underneath us, and we're going to basically be laying on the shoulder. And there's a little bit of a spinal twist action with this as well. So you're walking your left hand forward to the end of the mat, you're leaning back with your butt, and you're twisting. You're using how you're pressing into your shoulder to start to bring your body facing the front, facing me, and just looking out by your armpit, and just leaning and just experimenting where this feels really good. Getting used to, you know, putting your body in these funny positions here. So those are really nice. So there's ways, and you know, you can use gravity with your own weight to really get amazing openness in the body. So that's what was happening with me, is that I was just feeling like there's tension in the most bizarre nooks and crannies of my body. And so that's how these forms just started to kind of come. I'm modifying other things that I've learned. Just like, oh, that feels really good. So of course, always exercise a lot of caution when we do all of these things. So the next thing we're going to do is a similar position. We're going to be in a table position again. But this time we're actually going to bring the crown of our head onto the floor. So it's kind of like a modified child's pose, but our butt is going to be in the air, and you can be on your toes. So have your toes curled so you have some support there. And you're going to have your arms out at the sides to support your neck. So the important thing here, just for safety warning, is not to allow your neck to take the brunt of this work. You're really pushing into the floor, into your mat with your palms, and you're pushing in with the crown of your skull, but the efforting is not coming from the neck. So we're going to be massaging the crown of the head and the sides of the skull into the mat. And this is just one of the most wonderful things I've ever learned to do. So you're just going to bring your head forward and just start to really experiment. Make sure that your hands are really firmly placed here, your palms. Then you can go forward and back and really take your time and just use your weight and breathing. And you can roll to the side. It feels really good to press the frontal lobe into the mat. Oh my gosh, it just feels so grounding and so connecting. So just very gently, again, just not twerking the neck, just really listening and taking your time and just massaging your skull. And this can just feel so amazing because, again, we're working with gravity. We're working with the weight of our own body here and making sure that your hands are supporting, your arms are supporting your movement. But it's just a really incredibly nourishing kind of form of massage. And it will also gently start to open the neck a little bit because we're getting a lot of mobility. And by having this weighted movement of pushing with our skull into the floor, that's actually putting some nice positive pressure on the neck to really start to get it to open up and to flow a little bit more. So when you're ready, come on back up and just come into a comfortable seated position. And just see, okay, how do I feel? How am I feeling now? Do I feel looser? Am I feeling better? Just see how you feel. All right, so let's do, just for the sake of equanimity in the spine, come into a comfortable cross-legged position again. If you need support with props, you can use towels, blankets, pillows for this. Let's go ahead and bring your hands in between your knees and your ankles, and let's just do some really gentle spinal rolls. So as you come back, really curl your spine, and as you go to the side, really reach to the side and go slowly. As you come forward, really reach. So it's like you're in a giant mixing bowl, like when you're making a cake or bread in like an electric mixing bowl. It's a round bowl and it's kind of has like steep sides. So you want to make sure that you're gently brushing your body wherever you're stretching onto that bowl. So this is an exaggerated movement, very slow. And the idea here is to just really slow and just feel extension. You could feel this in your hips and in your buttocks, also in your sacrum. And now we're going to go the other way. But before we do that, bring your hands to your knees. And we're going to do a really interesting exercise with this now, which is as you're going to the side. So I'm leaning to the right now. So take your palm and gently push down on your left knee. So what we're doing again is we're using our own body and gravity and the weight and the pressure of our own muscles working actively to create more space. So as I'm leaning to the right, I'm pushing to the left, and I'm getting so much opening in here, in the low back, going all the way down into the glutes a little bit, even the side abs as I'm doing this. And then I'm coming forward, inhale. Now as I'm going left, I'm going to start pressing down on my right knee. And I'm just going to hang here. So you can pause your movement and find a spot that's like, oh man, that's really good. Like I'm feeling a lot of tension being relieved there. That's really yummy. Pause there and breathe there. Okay, I'm going to keep going back. And so you can do a couple circles that are active and then just feel in like, oh yeah, I'm going to pause again. I want to stretch that side out. I'm going to stretch the other side out, and I'm really going to curl my back as I'm going backwards and so forth. So just really starting to come into the body in a whole new way. Very nice. So now we're just going to go ahead and have a little tune in. So now we're just going to go ahead and have a brief moment of relaxation before we carry on with our day. So everybody, we're going to activate. So now we're just going to have a moment of connection with the body once more before we wrap it up for the day. So I want to invite you all now to bring your hands to your knees, palms up. Close your eyes and let's do some breath work together. We're going to do some pranayama. So we're going to go ahead and do ujjayi breathing again. So you have your palms facing up, facing the heavens on your knees, supported on your knees. And you could be sitting on a chair for this, cross-legged, whatever's comfortable. Just keep the spine straight. And let's start getting into our ujjayi breathing. Starting to bring your focus on the belly. Breathing into the belly. And we're going to exhale audibly. And we're just going to affirm that we're releasing all the tension from our neck today. And just kind of reveling in gratitude for that. Like, oh, I stretched it out. I'm clear. I have space to receive more information. So inhale again. Hold for a second. Exhale. We'll do one more. So inhale into the belly. All the way up into the chest and pause for a second. Exhale. And see how your palms feel. See if you can feel the life force energy. For me, it actually feels like there's like marshmallow fluff or some kind of like a very lightweight, like almost like a beach ball. It feels like that on both of my hands because I can feel my palm chakras super activated because we released a lot of old chi today and made space for more. So before we wrap up today, I would love to do just a little embodiment practice just to seal in the benefit of the practice and give gratitude and really create our grid architecture for the day. So we're going to do what I call a little aura dusting, a little aura fluffing. So you can go ahead and just rub your palms together if you like to start to generate more sensitivity and electricity going on. And then we're going to inhale our arms out to the sides, taking energy with Gaia, merging with her. And then collecting cosmic Solaris sun code energy from above. And we're going to sweep it through down the center line here. So what we're doing is we're filling our fields and our aura with all this healing prana. So we have that of Gaia. So as we inhale, we scoop earth chi, Gaia, crystalline codes of new earth. And we reach up to the heavens to scoop those as well. And we bring them down through the midline. And we're going to inhale once more, scooping up all of this incredible energy. And on the exhale, really cementing it, sealing it into us through the torus, through the central column, through the spine. And then once more, we are going to inhale out to the sides. And this time, we're going to pause here with our hands up overhead and just look up at the heavens, the cosmos, Solaris, the trees, wherever you are. And just invoke and invite all of the blessings, all of the grace, all of the abundance, the perfect health, radiant, cosmic Christ, solar, crystalline, golden, diamond, light codes now. And as you bring your hands down, you can bring them down to the side and just kind of start to, as you're breathing, you can move your hands, whatever feels good. You can kind of fluff, fluffing your field kind of with your hands, whatever. There's really no perfect way or right or wrong way to do it. And just really intending that your field is filled with those frequencies. And then when you're done, you feel complete, bring your hands together, the center of your chest, unifying. Divine feminine on the left, divine masculine on the right, bringing them now together at the center, God consciousness, angelic DNA on, activated. And we intend now all of our highest and best blessings for this day. So thank you so much for joining me today. This was super fun. I hope that your necks feel amazing after this, and I look forward to hearing how you're feeling, any questions that you may have, and just wishing you a beautiful, bright, and blessed day. Namaste.